dedication, and determination. An institution built on the pillars of discipline, dedication, and determination. At SBUP, we just don't learn, we transform. Our university stands as a catalyst in shaping industry-ready professionals by blending academic rigor with real-time corporate exposure.
Be it through structured mentoring, soft skill development, or the ethos of learning by doing. Every student manager is groomed to lead, not just to work. Our success is not just defined by rankings, but by the consistent impact we make. With a placement track record that speaks volumes and collaborations that open global doors, SBUP truly embodies the spirit of future focused education. Adding to that pride, I'd like to share some recent privilege that shine a light on our excellence. Sri Balaji University Pune has been recognized as number one private university in Maharashtra and Western India. It proudly holds the fourth rank among all private universities in India. Among the top 100 B schools in India, SBUP stands at rank 9 and rank 12 overall. In placements, we are among the top 13 B schools in India and hold an impressive 7th rank among private institutions. These milestones reflect not only our credibility but also our continuous commitment to nurturing young minds into capable, confident, and compassionate professionals.
Absolutely, Jessica. I agree. At this point, I would like to invite Junior Student Manager Sneha Kumari to come forward and formally introduce our distinguished guest to the audience.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sneha Kumari, currently serving as a junior student manager at Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, pursuing my specialization in marketing. It's my great pleasure and honor to welcome our distinguished guest speaker for today's session, Mr. Aditya Mishra, Chief Data Officer at State Bank of Mauritius Limited, with over 20 years of extensive experience in the banking and fintech domains. Mr. Mishra is a thought leader in data and business intelligence strategies, known for its impactful contribution to customer analytics, data governance, data transportation projects, and enterprise data management. In his current role as Chief Data Officer at SBUP Bank, he has been at the forefront of driving strategic data initiatives that shape the vision of smart banking. He is leading the development of next-gen enterprise data analytics platform covering retail and corporate banking, cards, payments, risk, compliance, HR, audit, and more. Mr. Mishra has also led significant leadership positions at Barclays, where he led data architecture for the wealth and investment banking vertical, and previously contributed to major global organizations such as Satyam, NCR Corporation, and Tata Infotech in data engineering and business intelligence leadership roles. An alumnus of Institute of Management and Technology, Ghaziabad, where
introduction. It gives me a great privilege to be here and share my experience and whatever basically knowledge I have gained so far in my professional life with you all. So I would like to basically make this session most interactive, and I would like to basically address your questions and whatever basically doubts you have from the industry specific, and I would like to basically answer your questions to the best of my knowledge. Right. So, but I have a presentation. I think is it sorted? So I hope these slides are visible to you all. I think the font is not that great, but I hope you will basically read it out. So this slide, what exactly it is saying? So if you see India right now, the situation basically where we are in, there are so much of disruptions happening, of course, for the right reasons. And I think in all our day-to-day life, we all are experiencing that, right? So here I have stated certain facts basically that what exactly it is happening. So if you see one, the public private the partnership across all the projects whatever we are doing, and as a bank basically we are funding those. Yeah. So if you see right now, India is also now mic. Okay, that's okay. I'll manage with this, no problem. So if you see, I hope if anybody has any point to contribute, please say so. Otherwise, I could hear some noise and all. Anybody want to share something? Okay. So if you see all these changes, whatever basically we are experiencing in our day-to-day life, these are all outcome of all the disruptions, the lot of macro and micro economic level policy changes happening, right? A lot of if you see from a banking and finance industry, which basically I represent, a lot of initiatives government has taken in terms of financial inclusions, right? Where basically we want to take all our financial product and services to the last leg of the population, right? So drive the financial inclusion agenda of the bank, right? So these are, I would say, paradigm shift from the last decade and now. If you compare, we have so much of now skilled manpower available within the country, and there are a lot of manpower, uh, uh, manpowers which were basically kind of as an outcome of brain drain. They moved to the overseas economies, and they are now coming back. I am also an example. Like I relocated completely to India in 2015, right? So all these things are ensuring that we are now getting ready for a very disruptive growth in the years to come, right? The next slide. So now here, if you see, I think we have seen this data, right? That India is now the third largest, fourth largest, sorry, GDP in the world. So our GDP is now almost 4.2 trillion dollar. So we have surpassed Japan, if you see, right? So what that translate to? Now this is some data point where you can see there are three Indian banks, right, which are in the top of the list, and HDFC Bank now is the top 10 bank in the world, right? So our market cap, if is it now with some of the leading banks in the globe, right? So this is a great change, basically, where the now why all these things are happening? If that is the question, basically we need to know why. Because of the lot of policy level changes the government is taking in the last 10 years, and that is the reason we are having an outcome like this. And now we are competing as a country with some of the the top banks in the if you see, and you will see in the years to come, there will be many more Indian banks in this list, right? Now, in this list, the bank which I have worked earlier, Barclays Bank PLC, it is not there in this list at all, right? That's a massive change. Now, this is another great story to talk about. We all are using UPI, right? This is a flagship product from NPCI. Now you see, UPI is now getting not only used in India but a lot of these countries and many more, like Australia has also adopted and a couple of other countries as well. So now UPI, which is our own product, which is created in India, is now making it marks to the world, and a lot of these developed nations as such, they are using our this payment interface because the way the transactions are happening in real time, the way the settlements are happening, it's great actually, not from a service standpoint but from a tech standpoint, like the technology whatever basically we are using, they are absolutely best in class in terms of managing the transaction volumes growth, which we call it the velocity veracity of the data, right? So this is another phenomenal change. Now these are some of the flagship products. Now earlier we used to have only this Mastercard, right, and Visa, right? They were the only two payment gateways, but now we have many such. Like for example, RuPay is one of them. Now government is like focusing more, and there is no way that now RuPay is. I mean to say, in I mean to say anything less in comparison to Visa or Mastercard. Now here, these are some of the statistics I would like to share with you guys. The numbers are there, you can see. But this is so if you see in April 2025, you can see 17.89 billion transaction counts it happened. It is phenomenal. Nobody in the world is basically able to handle such volumes of data, right? And this we are doing right now within our own framework. It's not outsourced as well, right? These are all Indian people, Indian brain, and Indian technology, right? So I really want you guys to spend some time on this number. These are all available on the internet. But yeah, so the punchline of this slide is that look at the growth, look at the in-house development, look at the in-house innovation. Basically, we guys are doing. This is another fact which I would like to highlight. This is data as of 2022. Of course, it's more now. So approximately 80 lakh NRIs, they are families, they all have returned to India, right? So that's another story, which means that there is a lot of opportunity available in the country now across all the rates, across all the fields, which is kind of inspiring them to return back and do something here in India. So these are the five. So all this thing, what is saying that this is basically highlighting the focus on the innovation, what basically we are doing across. And this is for the growth of the country. Of course, these are mostly from the banking and finance, but across, if you see, there are a lot of innovation happening. There are a lot of focus on the out of the box kind of thinking, and push from the of course the statutory bodies and the government in terms of setting up not only the policies but also implementing the policy, ensuring the policies are working. It is not just creating the policy for the sake of creating it, right? The outcome of the policies, what exactly the success criteria, and all those things are now tracked very effectively. I think this is a very short presentation which I had shared with you guys, but I would like to open it now and happy to basically have an interactive session with you guys where basically would like to address your queries, concerns, questions, whatever basically you have. Good evening, sir. I am Shivam De, as Junior Student Manager from BIMM, specializing in marketing. So my question to you is, what kind of job roles and responsibilities can a young MBA graduate expect who has just completed his MBA from the banking sector? Sure, sure. That's a great question. So now I'm addressing from your field. So you are doing marketing, right? So like for example, you know that we are living the world of customer-centric world, right? This is not a product-centric world anymore. So what does it mean? It means that whatever products I am designing, I will always keep my product customer at the center, and then I will basically design and implement my services around it or efforts around it. Now, if you see in this context only the jobs which are available in the years to come, you will see there are a lot of customer privacy kind of a role, right? Where basically I'm ensuring, as a product manager, that my customers' privacy is not compromised by any means, right? So therefore, the things come from a marketing standpoint, that what to market, what not to market, how to market, right? What exactly the things which will go into my collaterals, which will not, right? So this will be basically a very new kind of job prospect which I could see, which will be part of the overall marketing strategy. So gone are the days where basically you are just strategy just only from a selling perspective, from an ROI perspective. These are some of the marketing managers to ensure whatever product I'm designing, right, the customer's privacy angle is not getting.
Evening, sir. I am Om Bhargavash from BMH Marketing. Sir, as a marketing student, starting our first job as a in a bank and particularly managing a role of any aspect is what is it beneficial for a marketing student, or we shouldn't start with the bank of the first job? First job.
So to answer your question, see, if I understand you correctly, you are saying the role of marketing managers in the banking role, mainstream role, right? That what exactly the opportunities is
Sir,
there.
if we start as a fresher in that bank role.
Yeah, of course, the roles are always a lot of like the fintechs are the ones which are working in conjunction with the banks, right, in an ecosystem space. So there are a lot of opportunities for the marketing professionals, because ultimately uh, all these things are doing for what? The whole reason for doing this is to take the financial services to the last click of the population, where basically everybody is uh, and feeling the benefits, not only the people living in tier 1, tier 2 cities, but also the tier 4, 5 cities of India as well, right? Now, how do this thing be propagated to the last layer? So you need to have right level of marketing strategy getting into it. That where I'm sitting in one place and making this strategy, digital marketing. Digital marketing is also one of the strongest of marketing these days, right? So your digital campaigns, effective, digital campaigns are the another one. How exactly I'm effectively getting those digital campaigns embedded into my mainstream marketing strategy and getting it to the last click. So these are the roles which are always required now in this new age banks, right? I'm sure all the marketing students must be studying this Philip Kotler's, right? The guru of marketing management, people used to call it. So some of his, like, if his concepts, like the cross-selling strategy, upselling strategy, right? Those things are still relevant. Of course, the scheme of things have changed, but the underlying strategy is always remains the same. Yeah.
Jai Hind, sir.
Yeah, Jain sir.
I'm a faculty here. My name is Dr. Javed Kalim.
Yeah.
I was amazed at the details that you have gotten for all of us. It was an academically as well as in corporate terms a very enriching experience. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks,
How
Dr.
a round of applause for sir,
Yeah.
in fact.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr.
We are all feeling very honored to attend your session. Sir, over a period of time, consumers have changed. So at State Bank of Mauritius or any other bank, how has the process and technology for customer relationship management changed over a period of time? Thank you, sir. That's my question.
Sure, Dr. Javed. So if you see the customer touch points, now I would say the customer touch points, let's say 10 years back and now, if you see the time shift, we never used to have these digital call centers, right? Like for example, whenever just consider the banking products. We used to sell our banking products, be it CASA or any of my loan products to the customer. And I'm just talking about 10 years back. If a customer has any issues or problem, the only way for that customer is to go to the branch and then explain it to the branch manager or whatever the person available, and then basically sort it out, right? But now if you see, those days are completely gone now. Now if you see here, the channels have opened very well. So you have got your CRM systems anyways available. You have the digital call centers where you call to the customer care executive, and then you resolve your whatever specific queries you have. But then apart from that, you have got the entire social media now these days, right? Like for example, if you have taken a product from bank A and the bank A is not adequately addressing you, right, in terms of your product or services, still you have grievances. You have always an option to go to the bank is whatever website, and you can basically put your complaint there, and immediately you will see interaction comes from the top directly, because all these data points are very important for that bank, because it is directly linked with your uh, reputation risk. Like for example, if I missold some product to you, right, and if you in the social platform, if you say that this product is an, let's say, equity product, and I sold this product as an investment product to you, and equity is a market linked product, right? Maybe you need the money tomorrow, right? It doesn't work like your traditional savings product where I will get my fixed return of investment every year. It doesn't work that way, but it's a mis-selling. For example, you have always have an option to go to the social media and basically highlight it, and as a bank, the bank has to address it, otherwise it will lead to the directly to the reputation score, because these data points are not only visible to the banks, but it is also visible to the regulators, right? So therefore the customer relationship or the customer, that's what I said, the customer centricity is now much more, because right now whatever services or whatever products I am creating, I can't afford to create by sitting in a closed room and then devising it. I have to ensure that the last level or the last level feedback from the market is coming to me, the past behavioral data is coming to me, the past customer reaction data is coming to me, and then basically I'm kind of implementing those. Just to give an example in real time perspective, so these days we are also using the call center data record, so we call it the call center data analytics. So there what we do, so let's say a customer calls up, the call center agent picks up the phone. Now with the voice analytics, we try to ensure that the agent has really addressed the customer well or not, whether the customer was really uh, basically his interaction is really changed after that, the tone of the voice or whatever, all those things now are getting into the mainstream analytics, and that's what basically I do in our day-to-day life. So, and in the years to come, it will happen more, because the way the demographics are, because I won't say it will happen in India anytime soon, but you will see it will be the story that the branches will come less, because your touch customer digital touch points will be more, like you are seeing the UPI and all, right? So it will become more, and digital channels will be the only channels I could see in the years to come to interact with the financial entities, and in that you will have to be customer centricity is the top.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering my question.
Sure.
I would like to second to you. Very
Yeah.
nice, sir. We've had an experience where an individual I would not name had cleared his loan with the bank that he had borrowed from, received his NOC, and even after that, after some time, The bank agent started calling him for some recovery, which they claimed to be overdue. He was absolutely clueless when guided to write a complaint to Ombudsman, as you're clearly saying digital touchpoints. Attaching the NOC, he got a reply within a day's time, and the bank has been asked to apologize to him
Absolutely,
unconditionally.
absolutely.
Thank you, sir, for your insight. Really enjoyed your answer. Thank you, sir.
And yeah, sure. One more data point, Dr. Javed, I would like to share. So, the regulator, which is basically the Reserve Bank of India, the operations of Reserve Bank of India, as per I have seen, has changed dramatically in these last 10 years, I would say 1 decade. So RBI is also now, ensuring the banks are working in the interest of the customer. And of course, if you see, RBI has also opened up a direct channel with the customers, where the customer has all the rights to, inform the regulator about these experiences directly. And RBI is penalizing the banks. Yeah,
Hello, my name is Anish Ashtekar.
sure,
I'm from BIMM, specializing in data science and business
sure.
analytics. So, as a fresh graduate, we will be after our course. What are the roles and the skills we will look forward to have in respect to financial sectors? As you are a data officer, chief data officer in respect to financial sector. So, what should we have like as in the rise of blockchain and fintech skills? Should we possess those, or what are your opinions on that?
Yeah. So see, there are a lot of experiments right now happening. I think most of you are aware that government is experiencing e-money, right? E-money. I think the government is doing it with three banks, IDFC, HDFC, and there's one more bank. So they are trying. It's a prototype actually. So definitely, blockchain is the future. It will happen because that is where the digital currency and central banks digital currency, we call it, right. So all these things are right now in an experimentation mode, because of course you have to understand two things, that all these things are disruptive in nature, and at the end of the day the banks are the custodians of the people's money, right. So we are not here, of course innovation, technology, all those things are important, but at the end of the day we have to ensure that the public's money is absolutely safe, right. So therefore it is important to define all those controls, right level of digital controls which are ensuring, right, that all these things are not compromised by any single means. So that's one part of it. Now coming back to the main question of yours, so data science, and see, first of all, data, these are all terms, right, but data can't be engineered and data can be science. Data is data, right. So the point is that of course data is the new oil, right, as you know, right. Going forward, so much of data is getting generated because of the connected devices, in every hand there is a smartphone. Like in this room, whosoever sitting, I think I don't see there will be anyone who will be using the old days phone. Everybody has a smartphone, right? Everybody must be using. And so much of, just imagine one smartphone or one handheld device is generating how much of data, right? So therefore, so much of data is getting generated because of the Internet of Things, right? So much of connected devices, right? So therefore, as a financial entity, we can't ignore this data because these are important data now, because I can't say that I will only rely on my data whatever my branch or my mainstream offices are saying. I can't say that the I will ignore all my data which is coming from these digital platforms like social media or whatever. I can't say that, because if I say so, then I will lose my customers. So I have to test that data. So therefore, in terms of business analytics, so you have to basically in this role, right, I'm just talking about the role. So one role is basically using all this data and then generating customer insights out of it, that what exactly the customers sentiments are with respect to using my product and services. Is it really the customers are happy, they have any concerns? If they have concerns, how exactly as a bank I have addressed those concerns, right? Second thing, on the credit side, right, like so much of data is available, like let's say for example there is a customer who has not taken any loan, for example. So of course if his or her bureau score will be less than 700. So if the customer is approaching to the bank by saying that I have not taken any loan and my bureau score is less than 700, so whether as a bank I should give loan or not. Now let's say I have a lot of alternate data also available, that if I know from the alternate data that this particular customer is an affluent customer, he is always traveling business class, he is maintaining all these expensive cars, right? So that also is a data, right? So using those data with my mainstream data, I can always take a informed decision with respect to whether granting a loan or not to the particular customer. So these are some of the, and of course, these are all possible because we have this functions available, like all the business analytics team or the data analytics team, these customer insights team, these are available. They are helping the credit decisioning team who are sitting generally with the risk team to take the informed decision. Earlier, if I am a risk person, I will always think from a risk perspective, right? Risk is always negative, right? The job of risk is to find out only the loopholes are not the right word, but how exactly things will not work, right? So when I'm appraising an application, if I'll see the bureau score is like not up to the mark, I will say no, no, loan I can't grant. But let's say at the same time, if I get another set of data which is saying that the customer is holding this much things, which is the credit worthiness is less than probably whatever the customer is owning. So therefore, I can always, as a bank, I can always recover the money whenever I want, but I can always grant. So this is also possible only when I have, this set of data analytics or business embedded into the business analytics of the scheme, right? I hope I answered your question. Sure. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Satwik Jaiswal
Sure.
from BITM, specializing in finance. So my question is, as a fresher to be working in banking sector in the fintech job roles, what are the different skill set as a recruiter you are looking for so to hire young professionals or freshers like us?
Sure. See, to answer your question, see, everybody, like I was also a fresher once upon a time, right? Everybody is a fresher, right? So, but the difference now and in my time is that we always used to, read theoretical part more because we never used to have the corporate, and of course, we never used to have this Internet of Things also available during our time, right? But now the good part is that you have so much of information available just at in your fingertips. So some of the things from a finance perspective, I would say, like for example, I don't know whether you guys learn trial balance or not. Like for example, any bank or any entity, the trial balance are very, very important. Now, how, as a finance professional, how do you ensure that all the elements to the trial balance are correctly going? Because based on the trial balance is the one which basically measures the capital adequacy ratio of the bank, that whether the bank is really capital enriched to basically give loans or not, right? These ratios are very, very important. So as a finance professional, I mean to say there are smart ways to ensure that all the capital adequacy ratios, all the Basel III norms, right? And then all the risk related reporting, financial risk, I'm saying all the financial risk related reportings are happening. So these are the one of the critical activities from a financial graduate, sir. So I would like to say, since your stream is finance, as you said, to basically focus on some of these things, and fintech is just a mode of operation, right? So the underlying core principles remains the same, right? Your balance sheets, right? All these things remains the same. But how to interpret the data from the balance sheet in terms of designing and devising those smarter ratios or smarter measures are the key to basically make it successful. So therefore, as a marketing or sorry, as a finance professional, you need to think of the out of the box, that what could be my new age of financial ratios are. Like for example, I can just making it up, like there's something called gap balance and position. Like for example, as a bank, how much cash I need to maintain, right? Compared to the the geopolitical situation is happening. Like let's say tomorrow, if country doesn't get any oil reservoirs, so how exactly it is going to affect my macroeconomic features? So therefore, as in a policy making, how do I ensure that my rate of interest should basically go high or low? I'm saying from a bank perspective, and ensuring that the interest is not compromised. So these are some of the smartest measures which the financial executives must take actually, because and these are not in the textbook, by the way. These are all from the learnings, from the surroundings. So the innovation part is limitless, I would say, in the new financial world, especially in your domain.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening. Good, good evening, sir. I am Anjali Samtani from BMHRD, specializing in HR. I would like to ask you what key potentials you expect from a HR to contribute in a global bank or even a bank sector in a fresher like MBA fresher like us.
Sure. See, again, good question. See, human resource is always a critical activity and very sensitive thing for all of us, because everything is like people related. So in the new age or in the new age of HR practices, like we can't have a traditional HR practices in an organization, because the kind of people now we are hiring are a very different demographics altogether. So therefore, creating a sustainable HR policies, like for example, like in our bank, we have a time like 9 o'clock is the time when everybody has to report, right? Now I have challenged it internally within my bank that why 9 a.m. Because in my team I have a lot of these people from the very different generation altogether, right? Who are not into this 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 kind of a thing. So they will say, no, no, we are not fine to come at 9 o'clock. I'm just making an example. So
Versatile.
yeah, so it has changed ultimately. So therefore, uh, from an HR standpoint, making the HR policies contextual, not like from a theoretical standpoint, and which is workable, ensuring that the employees' morale, are motivated. What are the policies which will help to basically ensure the retention, human retention. Because of course, if a person comes as a fresher, and then in the organization the person remains for let's say 1 year, and then after that the
Switch
person
the
leaves, and
job,
it's a loss
yes.
for the entity, right? Because so much of energy and effort gone into making the person kind of contribute. So when the person become ready, then the person is leaving, so because of the maybe policy
Overpay,
problem.
yes.
So therefore, like I would say, a lot of innovative ways of thinking is required, definitely in the HR area. And human resources are the key, because in the AI, I would say, we are now going to live in the AI and ML assisted world, right? So there basically we have a situation there, basically we have people working in the digital ecosystem. So therefore, what could be the digital HR guidelines would be? Because
AI
things might
driven,
come that
yes.
person are not sitting each other, not coming to the office by virtual offices. These are the realities of the thing which will come in the future. So therefore, how exactly the HR policies would be in those world. So these are some of the new things or new trends I could see, from an HR perspective.
Perspective,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Good evening, sir. I am Nupur from BITM Finance. My question to you is nowadays cybercrime are increasing. So, is there any precaution we as a professional can take?
Sorry, I missed the first part. What you said?
As now cybercrimes are increasing.
Cyber
So,
crimes.
as a professional in a bank, we can take any precautions.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So, see, cyber crime is the future, because we are now getting into digital world with so many digital touch points now, where a customer is interacting with the bank. So, yeah, so there are a lot of changes are happening. The systems, we are making it more resilient now, and more informed city by embedding AI and all. So basically capturing the unobvious and reporting it in the right time, so that the right action will can be taken. So most of this part are again data driven, where basically the systems are now intelligent enough to basically generate that much of data and feeding it into the centralized repositories, where basically the subsequent alerts are created, and it is passed into the right teams for the action to be taken. So yes, the data security part of it again, where the customers data ensuring that the privacy, because the Digital Personal Data Protection Act is now, it has become an act now, it is the cabinet has passed that. So where the customer consent is very, very important. So ensuring that the customer data is not compromised, by any means. So these things are now getting implemented across all the financial entities. So, and banks are also one part of it, but it is not limited to banks only. It is limited to the NBFCs as well, and to the cooperative banks and the other small finance banks as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, sure.
My name is Kisle Varan. I am from BIMM Marketing. I have similar doubt. What skills which you will be looking for a person whose background is marketing, who want to go to banking sector?
Sure. So to start with, like whenever a fresher is basically hired, the typical skills are your problem solving skills. Like for example, of course, it is not the only case studies. Case studies will be given, but definitely what is required at a strategic thinking level. Like for example, the depth of the problem, the person is able to understanding the problem in depth, right? And after understanding the problem and then creating a sustainable solution, like from a it is basically marketing is just one of the streams you are studying, right? But the surrounding part of it, right? That, like for example, it could be anything like the right customer strategy, the right product strategy, the right product marketing strategy, right? Based on the uh, person, because of course you will learn a lot of things when you join an organization, right? Whether it is a bank or any other organization for that matter. So because every organization operates within an ecosystem, so to understand that ecosystem it will take time. But when a fresher is basically getting hired, so these are the basically I would say the problem solving skills. And on the tech part of it, bit of a tech part of it, the analytical part of it, like marketing analytics, right? How exactly the marketing analytics, what all data element goes into it, right? Whenever you are creating a sustainable marketing model, right? From a again, cross sell, pre-sales, pre-sales are one part of it, but more from a selling standpoint, how exactly the things will go. So these are some of the things which will be expected from people like you.
And
When
sir, any software skills like particular software?
See, I would say, see, basic coding is anyways available these days, right? You have got lot of these low code, no code platforms, so there you can go and you can learn some of these things. These are all free of cost, by the way. Like if you go to Amazon Web Services, you can always create a login, and there the good part of the open source is you have a lot of these marketing softwares are also available, where basically you can create a lot of these marketing models based on the data, and the marketing models will work accordingly to help you with the devising or working out the right marketing strategy. So I don't want to name any one software because it will look like I'm promoting that, but it's available basically in the domain, and offline you can always in touch with me and I can tell you that that's not an issue.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good
My
evening.
name is Triparna Sarkar and I am from BIMM. Sir, my question is that what are the new policies that has come in banking sector that major part of population are unaware of?
What is the first thing, the major
Like major, like new policies.
new policies you said? Yeah, yeah. So, see, policies are always banks are the at least in India I have seen, like every day we have a direction from RBI, right? That you have to do this and you have to do that, because of course for right reasons. Because here, so you have to understand two things. That is what I have seen in my banking experience. So if you are in the US, so our RBI equivalent of US is Fed, they call it, right? And in UK they call it Bank of England. So Bank of England and Fed used to interact with the banks in a very different manner. Like for example, you might have seen that Silicon Valley Bank in the US is now closed completely. It has taken over, right? So much of banks have failed in the US, right? Like for example, a lot of North American banks during subprime. I think I forgot the year. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was I think year 2010 or something. Well, a lot of these North American banks got closed, right? Same thing in the UK also it happened. Like a lot of banks closed, they are not able to. But in India, it never happened. Like if you see in India, I don't think any of the bank has got closed. Even the cooperative bank like PMC Bank happened at the Punjab and Maharashtra Bank, but that is also now government has restored. So Centurium has acquired and it is now Unity Small Finance Bank. So in India, the regulator is very much clear that we are not going to fail these entities. So that's a very different shift from the those economies and our economy. Now, how do the regulator ensures that this thing doesn't happen? And it has not happened so far, right? RBI is operating since many long time, right? Even the oldest bank in India, like State Bank of India, still it's running, right? There's no issues. So how does it happen? Because of all these controls, right? There are a lot of policies are coming up. Whatever the geopolitical situations are happening, next day immediately what it could lead to. So we have very good people sitting at the policy level side, right? Who are the ones who are basically devising these policies. So coming back to your question that it will not be happening that this policy is there and then I'm going to stop. It doesn't happen. So RBI calls it the master directions. Through their master directions, the RBI basically ensure, like for example, the cyber threat that one of the student mentioned, right? Then your DPDP Act, the customer consent management, data privacy. These are some of the new things where basically the government or the regulator is very much serious about it, right? And second thing, of course, on the credit side of it, because credit is always a very tough decision. Whether the person will pay me or not, that's always very difficult to assess, right? So therefore, how do I am ensuring that my non-performing assets, we call it, the NPAs are not getting high? Because if the NPAs are high, then of course it will be difficult for the financial system, right? So how are we ensuring that the NPAs are not rising and controlling my NPAs to a right level, ensuring that my cash to loan ratios are always adequate, for the bank to make cash rich. So these are the basically the policy level things always comes in, and the banks are adhering to this.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That's all. I can take 2 3 questions. I think you have some question. I would like to answer. No problem.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Hi.
Hello, sir. My name is Ripika Sarkar, and I am from BIMM Marketing. So my question is, as there is a lot of clerical work involved in the banking sector, but sir, as AI is increasing nowadays, so sir, is there a threat that banking sector jobs will be saturated in the coming time?
Very, very good question. Very good question. So, first of all, I am going to say no jobs are going, right? So, see, AI or ML models will coexist. Like, for example, same thing happened, I think, 20, 25 years back, right? When banks were all ledger based. And that time, the push from the government was to basically make electronic banking, like all your digital, or sorry, the core banking system will come into the place. Earlier, banks used to manage their balances or all the financial metrics in a ledger format, right? So it became the core banking system, as where basically your at par check clearing facilities, all those things became reality now. Tell me how many jobs got reduced? No, right? Banking sectors are the one who have hired like so much of. So what I would like to say, because of AI and ML, none of the jobs are going to go away. Like it will only increase the efficiency of it. Like for example, as you said, like the credit appraiser. Let's say uh, the person who is responsible to pass the credit. Let's say that person is doing only 10 files in a day, right? With AI and ML assisted models, the person will do 20 files in a day, probably because that person will have so much of data also available with it for to taking the informed decisioning on the credit side. So the point is that these technologies will always help the human mind to take more informed decision, but not going to take the job, because ultimately the machine will not take that machine can't be blamed, right? Ultimately a human is required for, because we all are in an economic activity. With machines we can't do any economic activity, right? Understand, right? So economics doesn't work with machines. Economic works with humans, right? So it will be coexisting kind of an environment where basically the person will be enriched with all this data and information available, because going forward the age will be the data age, right? Virtual world we call it. So in that virtual world, all these devices will help the people to basically take informed decision. but it will coexist.
Sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Aditya Kirti. I'm from BIM HRD HR. Sir, I have always heard that people who pursue finance as their career, their work life balance is not good. The life is too busy and hectic. I want to know it from your perspective that whether it is true or a myth.
See, work-life balance is up to the person, how exactly the person manages, right? Because no one says that, you have to sit for 10 hours or whatever, right? Of course, there's some guidelines that, 8 hours worth is general standard as per Government of India, Ministry of HRD, right? So that we have to adhere to. After that, it is up to that person, how exactly the person manages his or her workload, right? Like, for example, I can always drag my work to beyond office hours also, because I'm not putting a lot of my, concentration or effort, but or a smarter way of doing things, right? But if I'm capable to basically, finish my job in time, or my KRAs, the key responsibility areas in time, nobody will have any problem to, right? So it is not that the banks are giving one person or two persons job to a single person. That doesn't happen. It is not allowed, right? So it is up to the person or the up to the professional to handle his or her own, work-life balance,
Okay, sir.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir, my name is Pankaj. I'm from BITM Finance. So my question is, how do you see the integration of real-time analytics with digital payment and UPI systems evolving in the Indian banking landscape? So what is your opinion in this?
Sure. So see, digital analytics or real-time analytics is happening right away. I think I've shown you the data points from NPCI, right? So this data from NPCI is shared with all the banks' mainstream platform, and we are using data in terms of prevention of fraud. Like of course, behavioral analytics we are using much more in terms of segmenting it. That, like for example, certain pockets of the world are into this kind of notorious activities. So how do we prevent that? Like for example, there are a lot of countries where which are basically in the sanctions list. Like for example, like Afghanistan and a couple of other countries like Syria, and some of the Eastern European countries like Lithuania, Estonia, and all these countries, right? And now Ukraine as well. So there, if I am getting a lot of my transactions routed via those, economies, right? So that data is now very much available to the banks, right, on a real time basis. So so the point is that all the real time analytics are happening on the running data. So it is now, I mean to say, it is not no longer a theoretical thing. It is happening, and government entities, including NPCI and RBI REBIT, we call it RBI IT, they are working very much in conjunction with the bank's departments. And as a chief data officer, I am also accountable for that, to ensure that all the data in a policy form is available to the right people in the bank. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, to make a mention to everyone here, sir has been recently awarded with an award, RegTech Excellence Award, at BFSI Confluence, Mumbai. And truly, this evening we were honored to hear him. Thank you so much, sir.
We extend our sincere gratitude, sir,
Thank you
for
very much.
delivering a session that was not only
It is of
for delivering a session that was not only intellectually stimulating but also profoundly enlightening. Your insights have undoubtedly left a lasting impression on all of us.
It is often said that the act of expressing gratitude is the hallmark of a cultivated mind. It completes the arc of learning and acknowledges the value of shared wisdom. In that spirit, I would now like to invite Junior Student Manager Aditya Raj and Tanisha Agarwal to step forward and present a token of our appreciation to Aditya Sir in recognition of her valuable time and thought leadership.
And now, to bring this distinguished session to a graceful and dignified close, may I invite Junior Student Manager Shreya Mahan to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing team and entire university community.
Thank you, Jessica and Saurabh. Jai Hind, everyone. I am Shreya Man, Junior Student Manager at BMHRD, specializing in marketing. It is truly an honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune. A heartfelt thank you to our esteemed guest, Mr. Aditya Mishra, Sir, Chief Data Officer at State Bank of Mauritius Limited, for gracing us with your presence and sharing such valuable insights. Your words were not only inspiring but also deeply thought provoking, offering us practical perspectives and clarity of our journey ahead. As we reflect on your talk, here are a few key takeaways that hold special relevance us for us student managers. Sir talked about the growth of GDP after independence as it averaged 6.3% from 1951 to 2025. UPI apps significantly boosted growth GDP by increasing digital inclusion and efficiency. And lastly, CRM helps banks streamline complaint resolution by centralizing customer data and tracking interactions. Sir, your presence made this event significantly more impactful. Your journey and wisdom have left a lasting impression on us. As we close, let's carry forward the spirit of today with appreciation and purpose. Wishing you all a great evening. Thank you, everyone.